Blonde's a pretty controversial film. It's divided the audience into two. Some don't think it was a good idea, while others are close to suing the team behind it. And get this, making this film was just as catastrophic too. Don't believe us? Well, we've got the most bizarre behind-the-scenes facts about this biopic right here for you. So, let's jump right in. First up, the cast tried to contact the Beyond. Alright, we'll admit it. In this video, we were going to ease you into the crazy, but that's no fun. So here's perhaps one of the weirdest and most confusing facts about the movie. Making a biopic regarding the beloved Marilyn Monroe isn't an easy feat. And while the crew for Blonde realized it, they didn't exactly understand the responsibility that come with it. But we won't be getting into that since that's a topic for another day. So, what do you mean by the Beyond? Well, it's exactly what it looks like. Ana de Armas figured that this undertaking was a big deal, and maybe she felt she wasn't up to the task. So the actor and her team decided to do the only logical thing that came to their mind. They asked for Marilyn Monroe's permission. But since it's been quite some time since the Hollywood legend passed away, only a Ouija board could have made that connection possible. But de Armas wasn't going to let that stop her. Before the development of this film started, the cast and crew went to Monroe's grave and left a card with a message written on it from everyone. According to the actor, this was their way of asking permission. And to be very honest, looking at how hollow the entire thing turned out to be, we're sure that Monroe either never gave her permission in the first place or is heavily regretting it now. Next up, perfection takes time, but becoming Marilyn Monroe takes longer. While it's a commonly known fact that actors spend a lot of time getting their makeup done, and when we say a lot, we mean a lot. The amount de Armas spent in the makeup chair exceeded the standard time for a biopic. The leading actor in this project spent around 2.5 hours trying to look like Marilyn. Okay, we're saying that the artist did a good job. De Armas looked good, but we've seen makeup artists on Instagram recreate the Monroe look in less time than that. But why did it take so long? Tina Rosler-Kerwin, the head of Blonde's makeup department, had a justification for all that. She stated that they apparently tried to find their Marilyn in Anna. Okay, it makes sense. Kerwin also said they didn't want to just glue Marilyn's hair on with some makeup on the actor, but they wanted to be careful about that and make sure that they were defining Marilyn perfectly. Alright, we can let it slide then. At least someone put some thought into this portrayal of the icon. Coming up next, Ana de Armas was not afraid. We might roast this production to the moon and beyond, but the performance put forward by the main actor was nothing short of sensational. But that's the effect Anna has on whatever project she joins. Whether it's Knives Out or even the James Bond movie, No Time to Die, the actor rose to the occasion and made each film her own. However, Blonde wasn't a normal project. It was packed with major challenges, especially the graphic assault scenes. And even though those scenes might make you feel extremely weird and tend to creep some people out, de Armas didn't feel like that at all while shooting them. When talking about her experience, Anna mentioned that her environment was very protected and safe. Apart from this, she also understood what was going on, which made her the one in control. Well, good for her. And also, kudos to the crew. They might have dropped the ball on the story, but they made sure their cast didn't feel unsafe. Following up, it took them 10 years to come up with Blonde. The way it's being received on the internet right now, one would think that this project resulted from one dark Mad Libs session. But apparently, a lot of effort went into it. 10 years worth of effort. Yikes! Who could have guessed that? What's even more surprising is that Brad Pitt was also part of the crew. He was a producer and writer of the film. It took them so long because they wanted it to be different from all other Marilyn movies that are already present, because the icon's personality was extremely intriguing, leading to multiple adaptations of her character. and Blonde was successful in standing out. We don't say that just because they took a decade to make it, but because they decided to take everything they knew about Monroe and then run in the opposite direction. Sounds like the perfect formula for success. Pitt noted that things finally started making sense when they cast Anna in the leading role. Now that's something we believe. Some talk around town says that this movie was inspired by My Week with Marilyn, a 2011 production regarding the film star. The movie needed to go into more detail regarding her life and the gap Blonde wanted to fulfill. And to this, we're going to say you had one job. Up next, Armas understood the assignment. The only good thing in this exploitative portrayal of Marilyn Monroe was Anna's acting. Well, there was a lot of effort put into that. If her asking Marilyn's permission before taking on this role didn't assure you that the actor was very serious about this portrayal, then this fact will do the trick. From what we're given to understand, Anna spent 3 hours a day with a dialect and vocal coach to get the right accent for the movie. That's not all. These lessons continued for 9 months, and during this time, she was also spending about 13 to 14 hours a day on the set of Knives Out. And from the looks of it, things turned out pretty well. Anna's performance is amazing for someone who recently learned English as a second language. Even though many people had problems with her as the leading role, Marilyn's estate came to her aid, saying she was a great casting choice. Well, there's no doubt about that. Moving on, Blonde bled into Anna's other roles. Her role in Knives Out turned out to be extremely lucky for the actress, since she got cast in several big-time productions after that. Interestingly, she got to play the role of James Bond's most recent ally, Paloma. 2021's No Time to Die was filmed before Blonde, but the actor has been working on her role as Monroe for quite some time now. So it's not a surprise that her performance in the Bond film had a few hints of the late Hollywood icon. Paloma's personality in the film is heavily drawn from Marilyn's character. Armas mentioned that her energy and charm lit the character from the inside. Now, isn't that amazing? Last but not the least, the film had big names attached to it. Well, this one doesn't come as a surprise to us. After all, the development did take 10 whole years, so it's expected that many people would come and leave the project. And well, some of them were pretty big, including Jessica Chastain and Naomi Watts. Let's take a look at what roles they were going to play. Interestingly, Watts was supposed to play Monroe's role, and while we're glad that it ended up going to Armas, the casting choice makes sense. Watts shares many facial features and similarities with the Hollywood babe, and it would have been fun to watch. But, as expected, the development just took too much time, and it just wasn't suitable for someone as high-fi as her. So, the star moved on to work on other projects. Now, what about Jessica Chastain? She was initially onboarded as a replacement for Watts after things seemed to work well for the production process. But things hit a bump again, and everything came to a stop again. Too bad though, because we think that the star power of Chastain would have helped the film. As for the actor herself, she didn't miss out on much. She finally won an Academy Award for her performance in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Well, good for her. That's a wrap for this video, folks. Did we miss out on any bizarre facts about the film? What's your take on Blonde as a biopic? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more awesome videos like this. See you in the next one with the latest updates.